Hey everyone!
Hi guys.
That's what Inaya does.
And I used to do that a lot, guys.
Alright, Sana.
Okay.
When I say negative speech, what comes to your mind?
Swearing.
Okay, something more.
Vulgar language?
Okay. I don't know who you hang out with, but
High school kids.
But we generally don't hang out with people with swearing and vulgar language.
You don't. Yeah.
But in our social circle, I mean, the kind of people we meet, we come across with, what is the one thing that you feel is so negative that's just pulling you down?
Well, I wouldn't say people around me. Alhamdulillah, my friends don't complain much, but I'm kind of guilty of it.
What?
I complain sometimes about one particular issue. My friend knows, if she's watching the video, she knows she's the only person I complain to about this particular issue, and I complain a lot. But I have stopped.
So it's complaining.
It's complaining. Yes, it's complaining. I think complaining it sometimes makes you very, very bitter and
it's funny you said that because complaining does make you bitter, and not just bitter. You know, we think complaining is all okay when friends get together. It's all about venting out. It's all about talking about a day and just bitching around, if that's the term. But it's actually not that. We complain 15 to 30 times a day. An average person does. So we complain a lot in our lives.
Really?
And when we complain, there's a whole science behind that. The way neurons, they work in our brain. And I've done my science on that.
Wait.
So
I told you guys she does all sorts of research, notes and everything. So
the funny thing
get
is,
ready.
the way the neurons work is that when we do a repeated behavior, the flow of information becomes easy because the brain likes efficiency, and because of that, the next time we repeat that behavior, it's very easy to do it, and then the third time it's even easier. So when we complain repeatedly, it becomes a habit because the brain takes it very naturally. It's very easy for the brain to process it, and then that becomes the default behavior. It becomes that negative behavior becomes your default behavior. So I don't know, when you were complaining, did you feel that you were becoming too negative about it?
Okay, so wait, before I answer that question, I have a question for you. Venting, I feel, is something different than complaining. I think vent, you would do it once in a while when something is really bothering you. Now, not to say if something's wrong in your life, you can't talk to anybody. Please go ahead and talk to your friends or whatever.
But would you vent about that person all the time to your friends?
I didn't say it was a person. But I think venting is different. Complaining is when you are just repeatedly, anything that comes out of your mouth is, it's a complaint. Oh my God, my life is
and
blah.
it's not
Oh
just
my God,
about one
yeah.
issue only. The people who are habitual complainers, they complain about, oh, it's a lousy day. Oh, why is it raining today? Oh, I don't have anything to eat. Oh, my tea is so cold. Oh, they find a reason to complain, and that's a problem right there. I mean, they can, for the life of them, cannot find something positive in their surroundings.
Do you feel it's a cultural thing? I feel it because then again, I don't mingle a lot. I mean, it's not like we have a close circle from other cultural backgrounds. We naturally tend to mingle amongst more often amongst people from our
South
culture.
Asians. Yes, that's true.
And I feel like maybe it's just a cultural habit. Like, there's not a time if I can call, especially an elderly person from our culture, and you call them and be like, what's going on? Oh,
आज घुटनों में दर्द हो रहा है.
हमारी तो जिंदगी गुजर गई ये करते हुए. Like that is I'm just like thinking, you seem like you had a great life.
I know.
I take my biscuit and I double off.
and you're right. It's everybody complains, yes, but I think there's a cultural component to it, and the cultural component, I think, is there because in our cultures we are told not to show the fact that we're too happy. The fear of evil eye, or the fear of अरे नजर लग जाएगी, ज़्यादा मत खुश रहो. So I think people take it to the other extreme and they start complaining all the time. So they start protecting themselves, and that it's like a guard that people have around them, and that's complaint. They don't want people to see that if they are traveling to places, they don't want anybody to. They want to fly under the radar, and they don't want people to see that too much. So they'll hide it by saying, "Oh,
they're all over Facebook.
It was so tiring. I felt so sick, and it was so problematic. I couldn't walk. The weather was awful. My luggage it was lost, or whatever. So you will find a reason to gripe, and it could be because of the fact that you don't want others to see that you are enjoying things. So Unfortunately, there's a cultural element to it. But then,
I feel like there is, yeah.
but and a lot of people just feel that there's a sense of entitlement that when friends get together, they feel that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to blow the steam off, and we are supposed to, just talk about stuff that we don't write, the whole ranting thing. But and we think it helps us to loosen up. It makes us feel better, but I don't think it does.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm lucky that way. Alhamdulillah, my friends got me to stop, and not more so than they didn't. I just realized that I'm complaining way too much about one certain topic, and I realized that I feel if you're complaining, okay, so there's a difference. If some people just are complainers, they complain about everything. I think they start from downplaying, and then it starts sounding like a complaint, and then that just becomes your way of speaking.
Yes.
Okay, so and then there's people there's me who was complaining about one particular topic all the time. And so then I realized that maybe if I feel this thing is a block in my life, maybe I need to change something about myself to overcome this.
Yes, if it's a persistent issue, and I'm glad you said that, because if it's a persistent issue and that, there are different ways of dealing with it, and because this complaining thing is also, it's kind of contagious. The people around you, it also pulls them down. It's a whole environment of negativity that you spread when you start complaining constantly. You are thankless about things, and then other people also, it just heightens, it increases your cortisol, it makes you feel horrible. There's a part of your brain, hippocampus, which actually shrinks, and that's the part which shrinks when you are facing, or you are approaching Alzheimer. When you are prone to Alzheimer's, that's the part that shrinks. So when you complain, that's the part that starts shrinking. It's the part that makes you logical. It brings intelligent thought into conversation. So it has a serious physical toll. But the fact is, as you said, that if you start reassessing that, if that problem is not going, what can you do about it? And the thing is that you try to overcome it, or you try to change your attitude to face it better.
So
But then there are other things that you can do too, which is just be thankful.
Well, I think it depends person to person. Some people thrive over other people's misery. Some people realize they're doing something wrong themselves and then change. So I think here's the thing. So to solve this complaining issue, first of all, try not to complain each time you're complaining. We do whatever makes you not complain. For me, I'll be like, stuff, and try to be thankful for things I have.
Things that you have, and remember as kids you were told, you don't like this food, there are kids in Africa who don't have food to eat.
Yes.
We grew up with that.
Feeding off other people's misery. Yeah.
And that's what our parents taught us. You're not thankful for this, you don't like Loki. There are people in Africa who don't even deserve, who can't even have this Loki, so you should be thankful for this. And unfortunately, at that time, we would roll our eyes and we would walk away. But that is something that we need to keep reminding ourselves that there are a lot of things in our lives that we should be thankful about.
Yes, not everything is a big issue. I think the one way you can do it is that spend some time judging yourself. When you judge yourself, you realize how you can change yourself, how you can make yourself better, and things sort of automatically start improving. I often tell my kids, I'm like, before you react to somebody else's comment, take a moment and just try to see where they're coming from, and that takes a bit of judgment and time and
introspection be the word. And even to see where are you lacking in all of this. I mean, we are not perfect, so we may we are very quick to point fingers at others, but we have our own flaws and faults, and we need to understand that, and that will make us a little more lenient to other people as well. The other thing is, if you really must complain, the complaint has to be within certain parameters. It has to be a very a controlled type of complaint. It has to be very specific to the issue. So if you're talking to that person directly, which is excellent, but if you're not, even if you're talking to your friends, it has to be a specific complaint about that particular issue, and should always be sandwiched between something, it should start and end with something positive, I feel. If it's one person that annoys you, then try to find out something positive.
Situation, issue, whatever.
Yes.
But so what you're saying is, don't complain. But if you do have something to complain, of course, don't keep it in yourself.
Yes.
Go talk to somebody.
Don't bottle up. Yes.
Yeah, go talk to somebody. But make sure it's about that issue. Don't make complaining and venting a part of your regular social circle
Chit
conversations.
chat. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, that's not what friends are for. I'm glad your friends were able to point that out in you. And, as I said, that it was probably pulling you down, it was doing you no good. So it needs
Yeah,
to be,
more
it needs to
than-
be tackled. It needs to be tackled in a better way.
More than them pointing out, their attitude was so nice, and I was like, why can't I just be like that? Why am I stuck on this particular issue? Because for me, it was that one issue. So
Okay.
I was stuck on that one issue, and alhamdulillah, I was like, smile it off. I'm gonna smile it off and not think about it.
Oh, well, that weird smile that you give.
The
The
cartoon
kiddie
ones,
one.
the cartoon ones where the eyes kind of go like this.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, so so if you have an issue, talk about it. If you don't make venting and complaining a regular part of your life. Be thankful, and
Because it's doing you no good. So
doing you
it's
no
it's
good. It's doing us no good.
It's doing us, and it's contagious. You're making everybody around you also very negative.
And our kids will become that way. Our kids kind of
Yes,
do it all the
if
time
they
anyways.
just see their parents complaining all the time, that's the
Attitude they have towards
attitude they
life,
develop. They feel that nothing is worth fighting for. It's all doom and gloomy everywhere. So we need to get out of that.
Can you imagine how much you're upsetting the guy
Yes,
up there?
the guy up there.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So I hope we can take some pointers out of that.
Yeah, I think it's a nice reminder.
Yes, it's a gentle reminder.
Hakuna Matata.
Yeah. Until then, bye bye.
Bye, guys.